Do you like timeless classics?
Yes.
Are you looking for curated designer vintage?
I am actually.
You are? You guys are in the market?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have some breaking news for you.
Spill.
Look no further than Funny Girl Vintage, your go-to destination for curated, one-of-a-kind vintage pieces that'll have you looking and feeling amazing. And they have a showroom in Culver City. You can book your one-on-one style consultation at funnygirlvintage.com or on their Instagram at funnygirlvintage. And guess what, ladies?
What?
For our podcast listeners, you can get 10% off using the code NIGHT.
How do you spell that?
NIGHT for 10% off. And we thank Funny Girl Vintage for sponsoring this episode. All right, well, welcome back to Night School. I'm Jessie Zand.
I'm Alana Cloud Robinson.
And today in the studio, we have a super special guest, one of my dear friends, and the person who was involved in the inception of Night School. We have today Miss Ainsley Bailey. Woo!
Which camera do I look at? There's 4.
I asked that question.
This is a lot of there's more cameras than people.
I ask that question every time I'm in here. I still don't know.
Is it? Wait, so which? This one feels so intimate.
Wait, I just saw you labeled them.
This first one, the blue one, yeah, I label them so that way.
That's the wide, and then the
Yeah, this is the wide. That's Jessie's. That's Alana's, and that's yours.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah,
and there's hidden
color
cameras that I won't tell you about.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's.
Keep that in. We need the rage bait.
Yeah. Wait, did you bring something special for us today?
It's funny that you bring that up because I did. I wanted to come with a gift, so please hold. Okay, so you know when you like go to someone's house, like, and you get them like a host gift.
Yeah.
And you get like a candle or like flowers. I'm allergic to both of those things, so I brought
Wow.
a midget sign.
Wow. Oh my God. It's
Look
so
at
beautiful.
that.
How many trips to Michael's did this take?
It took 6 trips. This is
That is 5 higher than I expected.
That's fine.
That is amazing.
What's funny is I ended up not even using most of the. I think I got the Lisa Frank stickers I just had.
Of course. I love the eyes. The eyes
the
really.
eyes
The
are-
eyes were
Yeah.
really big. This was those were a seasonal item. This was made during
Halloween season?
during October.
Yeah.
What season?
Halloween.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I thought you said Napoleon, and I was
Yeah,
like,
during Napoleon season.
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
Like obviously,
AKA
he's known-
summer in Santa Monica.
He's known for his lizard eyes. Okay, do you want to tell like the actual story with this side?
Yeah.
When Night School was still in its incubation period.
Yeah.
I think this is what Jessie was really excited to make a podcast, and I was really excited to make a sign. And then once the sign was done, I was like, I don't know what else I can contribute. It's like I feel like this.
That's fair.
I just wanted to make an art project.
We got to
As someone
figure
who
out.
also feels like their major contribution is like handwork related. I love felting. That's my thing. Like,
Okay.
I can completely relate to that.
We need to find a way to have this in the studio, Keida. We need to find a way to get this.
What, like a goat? Like felting?
What?
Don't you make it out of goat hair or it's wool?
You mean sheep's wool?
Sheep's wool. Would you want a sheep in here?
Yeah, that's what we were asking.
That's
We gotta
if we
get a
could
goat
get a
in the
live
studio.
goat. Actually, we're trying to do a live goat sacrifice on the next one. Do you think the landlord will be okay with blood?
No, we won't tell them.
Okay. No, I meant the sign. Can we find a way to hang the sign, Keida?
That sign, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to. I feel like
I love the dinosaurs. I think
No,
that's
it
one
is.
of my
Thank you
favorite
so
parts.
much.
It is. It's so funny because like it was originally it was really in the inception of Night School, and like so much of the branding motif ended up being pulled from this, but not even used. This wasn't even used as a reference. You know what I mean? Like you think about the font of our new logo, like this is very similar to what it ended up being.
It is very similar.
it took on a life of its own.
It did.
Oh, I just noticed the L is rulers.
It sure is.
That is extremely creative.
Thank you.
I feel like I sound like the hyperpigmentation video mom. No, it's nice. It's nice. You know that video?
This is the way I am with this site. It's so embarrassing how much it means to me.
She's like, wait, you actually can't hang it because I still need it.
No,
Like,
I actually really can relate to that. I really
It's
can.
so embarrassing. I've made so many people look at it and they're like, "What? Why did you do that?"
I love it
that.
though. And it reminds me of an era of like when we were first starting to record and like literally doing it out of my room and me just being like, fuck audio issues, fuck, just like
Can I
in
give
my
you
room.
homework? You should make a diorama next. Make a diorama of the studio in a shoebox.
If you think I haven't already drawn out blueprints, it is in the works.
Next time you come in, we expect a diorama of the studio complete with us.
You got it. I feel like I am with this sign, like how, like, you know, like when like a mom keeps showing you like pictures of her newborn.
Yeah.
And she's
This
like,
is your newborn.
Look how cute. It's so good. But it's like, it's only good. Like no one thinks that it's as good as you think it is. It's just that you made it. So you're like,
I made it. Yeah.
the best
You birthed
thing.
this.
You birthed
It's
this.
like,
Wow,
it's
a lot
a
of sharp
sign.
corners. Props.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's held on as long as it has.
My favorite part too is like when we would try and find places to fasten it, like the dinosaurs would keep hitting us in the head and like as like
Or it would just fall. It was on like chains.
yeah, it was
really,
it was on bracelet chains initially hung.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah. This is
Incredible.
Yeah. And
Well
look
done.
at us now. Look at us now. We got to find a place to put it. 'Cause
Thank you
it
so
is-
much. I can leave now. This is all I.
Feel free to keep it as an emotional support blanket in front of your legs there.
Honestly,
While we
I
film.
might.
Yeah, I love that. So first, I want to get before we dive into our lovely topics. Ainsley, you are a comedian, yes, as we do stand up together.
Yes.
How you're like, God, please don't talk about this. You also recently been passed at the Improv. Woo!
Yes.
What's it like, kind of doing this next step of comedy?
It's well. I want to be. I'm not like like being passed at a club. Like sounds a lot cool. Like I'm passed for like cold opens, so I'm not
Still
like
impressive.
It's not like my show at the Improv, but like basically it'll be like people are there to see like Anthony Jeselnik and like Eliza Schlesinger, and like before they get up there, I go up there for 5 minutes, and they're like, "Who's
That's
this
still awesome.
lady?"
They
And
won't
then-
let me do that.
Yeah,
That's
they
cool.
won't let me
That's
do
cool
that
to know.
either.
And then I usually bring them their food also because I also just work
That's
there
sick.
in the kitchen. So
Are you enjoying it?
I am. I've learned a lot with doing the cold opens and stuff because it is very humbling when it's like, oh, no one's here to see me. Like I'm wasting their time. They're like just waiting for like the headliner.
You need to start when you bring the food. You need to start going like, "Here's your food." But first, quick survey: what did you think of me? You hold the plate above their head. What did?
Yeah.
I know you'll get your chicken tenders. What did you think of me?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
the worst. Thankfully, they've mostly like gone well, but like I'm really afraid for the time where I like completely bomb and then just have to like keep. Because normally, if you bomb, you can just like go
Yeah.
home or like cry in the car or something. But imagine having to just like bring them
there
like mozzarella sticks.
There is actually though something so like if you think about it like punk that you
Yeah.
could just be like because now you have
That's
to like
really kind of you to say
Yeah.
that this is like punk rock of me.
No, you
like-
have to say, well, if you do bomb, you have to be like, all right, I'm not going home to cry in the car. I will bring you your mozzarella sticks in a few minutes, so you'll see me around.
yeah, you'll see, and then you get to look at them in the eye as they
Yeah.
didn't laugh at your jokes. Honestly, that's kind of a dream scenario for me in some ways.
Yeah.
I say that now in joking, and then in reality, it would actually make me want to reinvert into my own asshole. But like, I do think if you're able to like reposition it in your brain as
Yeah.
like, there's your food.
It's kind of more fun when it's like a surprise and they don't know that it's just like a jump
true.
scare and they're like, "Weren't you up there?" And I'm like, "I do everything."
Yeah, that is a fun surprise.
Okay, kicking it off, I have to talk about the Jojo Siwa cheating scandal.
Teach me about that. I feel like this is also part of the reason that my contribution to the podcast was mostly just this. Jesse's really good at pop culture. I know who Jojo Siwa is, and that's all I know.
Okay, so Jojo Siwa, renowned child star turned renowned lesbian, was on reality TV show, was on Big Brother, and I think my understanding is she had some sort of canoodling happen with a male Big Brother co-star while she was in a relationship with her
Girlfriend.
non-binary
Oh.
partner.
There you go.
Yeah. And it turns out, so she was locked in this house for like, you know, I don't know how many, like, you know, for like 8 weeks or something for Big Brother, however long they shoot, no contact with the outside world. But like they're on Big Brother, they film you 24/7.
Yeah, they have cameras everywhere.
They have cameras everywhere. And she ended up like having some sort of relationship with this guy. She like came out on the show saying that like, you know, she wasn't sure, like she's queer, she's not a lesbian. But all this was being broadcast while her partner was still at home and like, oh, we were in a relationship when you left for the show and now
sucks.
you're gone. And now I'm watching on TV that you're
Also,
coming out
what
as
a
not.
mid man to make you realize. Like,
Yeah.
for real, though.
Yeah, he really
I was watching that
The
and I was
guy.
like, I don't even know who he is, honestly. Who is he?
Jojo Siwa cheating scandal explained. Jojo Siwa is getting a lot of attention and not in a good way. The 21-year-old dancer
she
and
ever?
former Dance Mom star is facing some criticism after her ex-partner, Australian influencer Kath Ebbs, accused Siwa of emotionally cheating and said Siwa ended their relationship at the Celebrity Big Brother after party on April 25th.
Wait,
sad.
she ended their relationship at an after party?
She talks about it, yes. But before we dive in, Siwa this season was a contestant on the British reality series where stars live together. During her time in the house, she opened up about her sexuality and gender identity. She also formed a close friendship with castmate and former Love Island star Chris Hughes, who is the mid man that Alana refers to.
Yeah, pull up a picture of him.
Let's see, Chris Hughes. Oh my God, so mid.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Is he? First, what is this picture? It looks like he's standing in front of an avant-garde boomerang.
Yeah, I mean, fair, all fair. Like that's
How old is he? He looks much older than her.
yeah, very weird.
He looks like, who's that comic who was on SNL?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one comic on SNL.
No, I know who she's talking about. Oh fuck, what's his name?
You'll remember and throw a picture in.
Yeah, I'll remember and throw a picture in. Yeah, he's like always like playing the straight man, goofy man. I know.
Yeah, I like
know,
him.
yeah.
He's fun. But he looks like him a little bit. Maybe that's part of it.
So Siwa's on this Stars Live Together during her time. She opened about her sexuality.
What is this fucking clip of her? What is she wearing?
Like some
What is
sort of
that?
fucking dream catcher on her head.
Every outfit
Oh
she
my
wears
God.
looks like it's like made of Legos.
yeah.
That is,
Or like from like
Amazing.
Minecraft or something.
Like why?
I just love, my favorite thing about Jojo Siwa is like, she thinks she's slaying so fucking hard.
I know.
I
That's
admire
my least
that.
favorite part about
I
her.
admire that level. You know how I love delusion.
I know.
I love delusion.
I know.
If I meet a delusional woman, my instinct is to feed that delusion. I've never met a delusional woman. Like anytime I meet a woman who's like, obviously I'm the queen of the universe, I'm the most beautiful woman alive, I'm like, you absolutely are. Everyone's like, knock her down to size. And I'm like, I will not. I hope she goes higher. Yeah. I hope she flies so close to the sun, her wings of wax melt, and she crashes into the sea. But I would like to be a part of that.
Yeah, you'd like to be part of the incline.
Jojo Siwa, there was a video she posted on TikTok a couple days ago. I watched it start to finish. It's her making a cup of tea. So she films this whole video talking about how she doesn't like anything in America now because she was in Australia. She's like, if you had told me before this experience on Big Brother that I would come home from a long day of rehearsals and all I would want is a cup of tea, I'd say you were crazy.
If you would have told me prior to going into the house that I would come home from a long day of rehearsals and want a tea, a cup of tea, and a couple of tea biscuits, I would think you are crazy.
This is incredible. Incredible. It's like the person that goes abroad.
Yeah, and it's
And
like,
it's
I
like
can't
literally-
stop.
yeah,
I
and it's
can't
like
stop
broad
talking about
ones.
it.
Yeah.
And just like
Which
She's
is
like,
just
oh,
like
the
drunk
toilets here go the other
American.
way.
Yeah.
Like the Aqueo, it's like, I am obsessed with that. I think that's incredible. I aspire to be more like that.
how long was she on Big Brother? Because I feel like she wasn't on it that.
No, it was just for the season.
Not long
Like,
enough to forget the American way.
Yeah, not long enough.
Well,
to, like,
don't they get kicked off every week or something?
I think they stay on the whole time. I don't think it's like
Well,
I
I've
don't
never
think it's like
watched
a
it.
win thing.
Is
I
it just
thought
a
Big
thing?
Brother you get like voted out of the house, or is it different for the celebrity one?
Maybe it's different for the
I
celebrity
think
one.
it is a game show. I actually don't
Yeah.
know. I think it is a game show.
But she was on it.
Well, I want to know how long she was away from like her partner. To
Long does Big Brother?
or does
film
JoJo Siwa use
for?
she her or is
She goes by 3 months. Whoa.
That's a long time.
That's
to
a
be.
long time. You must be willing to live in the Big Brother house located for wherever approximately 100 days.
I feel search how long was Jojo Siwa on Big Brother, because I remember seeing on Instagram like when her mom like took over her account and was like, Jojo's
3 weeks.
okay, thank you.
Not 100 days.
That's
Yeah.
That's not that.
So in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, she was like,
I don't remember America. I do not recall the land of my motherland.
and my mother tongue. She like becomes one of those people with what was that accent thing?
Foreign accent syndrome.
Foreign accent syndrome, but no head injury to cause it.
Yeah.
It's just being JoJo.
Have you seen her car?
It's a level of mental illness that needs to be studied.
I love it so much. It's like the opposite of like when celebrities are trying to be incognito.
You cannot knock her down.
It's
and
just
that
her
has
face
to be
all over it.
admired.
It's so funny.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I like wrapped my Prius with screenshots of me on this podcast? That would be insane.
I love
amazing.
it so much.
The suicide doors, crazy.
The suicide doors with your face on
I
it.
can't imagine having that level of confidence. Like
I know.
It's hard enough to like look in the mirror sometimes, much less like I'm gonna put 100
of my faces.
of my face.
That's what I'm saying is like there's some part about it that I'm like, you know what?
Get it, queen.
Slay.
Get
She's
it,
got to
queen.
be like a good driver though, because if you're that obvious,
Does
like
she?
it's got to be
Does
so.
Jojo Siwa have to be a good driver? I mean,
It's got to be so easy to like be pulled over if
That's
you're not.
true.
Like it's you're putting a target on your back.
Yeah, it sounds like she's not very worried about being like harassed or stalked.
no. And so she went on a podcast to talk about her sexuality on the Vile File podcast.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
Your comments about not being a lesbian anymore. I mean, I understand the context, but like
I
for
don't
the
know
people,
if what I said in the heat of the moment. Did I say being a lesbian? I don't remember saying
that's
that. So if
not
I
my
ever
understanding.
did-
My understanding is you didn't feel like
Yeah.
lesbian fully encompassed, your sexuality.
Yeah.
And then it honestly seemed more based off the premise that at the time you were dating a non-binary person, so that kind of makes sense to say
Yeah.
I'm queer, which is more inclusive.
I also was around.
Since when did Nick Vile turn into this?
I was gonna
I'm
say
so
this is
confused.
very strange to me. I feel like JoJo Siwa was still like 14. I don't like that Nick Vile.
And I come out of the house to see that, and I see the lesbian community coming at me saying like, how dare you, whatever. First of all, let's clarify a couple of different things here. Sexuality is fluid. Gender identity are fluid. You can be one thing today and one thing tomorrow. People saying to me that I have never been a lesbian is crazy. I fell in love with a female at age 17. I have a very special place for her. Obviously, our relationship did not work out, but even right now, going through all this, she reached out to me today. So to say that I was never a lesbian is people are searching for something.
How old is she?
She
21.
slays on camera. I could watch her all day.
Like 21, I think.
So that's still like such a baby. It's so weird. Like she shouldn't have to like. No one should care. This is like a lot.
But the thing is that she has made it her whole
Yeah.
personality
She's made it her whole
to
brand.
be. There was that clip where she said she's the first gay
Oh
pop
yeah,
star.
she's the first gay pop star.
No, she was like, I'm inventing a new genre, gay pop.
The genre is, I said it back in the day when I first signed with Columbia, I said, I want to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, it's like K-pop, right? But it's gay pop.
But she's also like, she's so young. And like every young queer person, it is their personality when they like that's just part of like finding your queerness at like a young.
I don't care what anyone says. She's the first gay person. In my book, she is the first.
She's so she's been on TV since she was like 7 years old. Like there's no like when you start that young, like there's
You're not
no
gonna come
one,
out normal. No.
There's no one to keep you in check. There's no one like she doesn't. No, I don't know. I think she's doing great, and I just hope she's okay in the long run.
Katy Perry goes to space and Earth cancels her, but then she goes on tour and everyone cancels her more. So this is going to be old news by the time we probably talk about it, but I just have to bring it up because it was so ridiculous. But Katy Perry, if you haven't heard and you live under a rock, Katy Perry went to space with Gayle King and several other more qualified people to go to space, and that should have really been the
Gayle
news story.
King was more qualified to go
No,
to space?
no, the astrophysicists
Oh, okay.
and the other women that were
I was
on
like,
there.
okay.
No, Gayle King and Katy Perry were
No,
not
none
qualified
of
to go
them
to
were
space.
qualified to go to
And
space.
particularly Lauren Sanchez, who literally, Jeff Bezos was just like, let's just shoot this bitch I'm fucking up into a rocket.
Wait, what? So I know some ladies went to space recently, and people have a lot of strong feelings about it because the way I get my news is just from like stand-up comedy, and so I've seen all these people like, oh, did you hear Katy Perry went to space? And that's all I've heard. I don't know, like, how did this happen?
Jeff Bezos was funding a Blue Origin mission.
Origin, yeah. What's Blue Origin?
It's his rocket company. Now he Elon, they're both taking on space travel.
Okay.
And
they went up for 11 minutes.
Yeah, they went up. Katy Perry flew on the Blue Origin rocket April 14th as part of an all-female crew. The mission, New Shepard NS-31, was the first all-female space flight in over 60 years. The flight lasted about 11 minutes and took the 6 women more than 62 miles above Earth, which is about 60 miles too far above Earth.
How long does it take to get... Oh, it said, sorry, the flight lasted about 11
minutes. Yeah.
It only takes 11 minutes to get... Wait, I'm so dumb. This doesn't mean they went to the moon.
No.
Okay. So they just went...
They just went up into like orbit. Like
is that just... When does space start?
That's a really good question.
Is it just when the sky gets... Would you go high enough that the sky is black?
I think you when you're...
Just above... Is it like just above the sun?
I think space starts in your chair right now.
This might be a good time to mention I'm on so much Benadryl and some Xanax right now. Not for fun.
No, for health issues.
That's
a great question. When does space start?
What is space?
Start?
When does space start? Which is the altitude of 100 kilometers, so 62 miles above. So they literally were at
They just hit space.
They just hit space.
Wait.
That's it. They got into the atmosphere essentially, and then they came right back down.
62 miles above space.
It's just a really tall plane.
Isn't? Hold on. This is gonna be so bad for me. How? When you go on an airplane,
you're not 62 miles above. Yeah, you're.
That's feet. That's feet.
Yes.
3,000 feet or something.
Yeah, but this is like 62 miles like above sea level. So like we're breaking.
That just doesn't.
Wait, how many miles is it? I'm gonna do math.
Which is the altitude of 100 kilometers above sea level.
So that's our like best minds on the cave.
Yeah.
Just from the ocean, like the surface of the ocean up 62 miles.
Yes.
Right? Is space.
That is kind of a long way.
That seems so close. I feel like
that's a long way.
It's considered the Kamen line. Where does space begin? For NASA and the U.S. military, for example, space starts at an altitude of 50 miles.
50, 62. There's a lot of misinformation, and I feel like they're kind of waffling here. So I don't know if anyone really knows what space is.
Well, if you're on a normal airplane, you're between 5 and 6 miles up.
Okay.
So that's like, so it's roughly 10 times that amount is how high they were.
Okay. I still feel like it's pretty low. I feel like it should be a higher number. Personally, I think space starts at 1,000 miles.
That's fair. I think space is however you
double
choose to
digits just seems.
Yeah, it seems
maybe
pretty...
space is the friends we made along the way.
I don't think we've even made it there yet.
There
I think
are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who share that sentiment.
I think science is wrong. I don't
think we went to the moon.
Do we even know there is a moon? Do we know that for sure? Sorry.
Of all my opinions, that's the least controversial. I think.
I know.
I don't think we went to space. Sorry.
Why
were I think we went to space. I don't think we went to the moon.
Girl,
this is like, okay, so like she literally she decided to make, while in space, which, TBD on how we feel about the calibration of that statement. She decided to do this like bizarre performative like Daisy bullshit. So this is them going up in the rocket.
Why was she the one?
I don't know why they chose her. Out of all the pop stars, maybe she was just the dumbest one to say yes. First of all, I love how Lauren Sanchez is not getting mentioned.
That's so crazy, Katie.
This is the part that I can't get over.
Why did they do what was
I don't
the
know
purpose
why.
of this?
It was some performative bullshit. I think they were my guess is they were probably going to do this flight regardless. This was a test flight. They probably done several more. They knew this was like going to be a shoo-in, that Katy Perry wasn't going to blow up into the atmosphere, but they were like, this looks so bad in the climate right now with everything that's going on politically, and we're on the brink of a recession. We're spending billions of dollars to send up, but let's make it an all-female rocket. People are gonna love that. Woohoo, feminism. And then they just slapped that Band-Aid over it, hoping that nobody else was gonna, look into it farther than that. And everyone was like, why the fuck are you sending these broads up into space? People are starving, dying, whatever.
How long was the total flight? Because
11 minutes.
It says they were in space for 11 minutes.
No, I think the whole shebang took 11 minutes total.
That's so crazy. I thought it took a week to get to space.
So they literally just went up into the atmosphere, and then they came right back down. They didn't go towards the moon. They didn't travel through space. They hit space and came back down.
Okay. So what you're saying is space is big.
Yes.
And they were like in the shallow end.
Yes, they were in the
space.
shallow end of space.
All
yes.
right. I should have, I thought for this episode, I thought for this podcast, I needed to brush up on pop culture.
It was physics.
I needed to have paid more attention in science.
Yeah. Sleep paralysis and nightmares.
Oh, yeah. I just thought that would be fun. I do. Okay. If you guys had sleep paralysis?
I never have.
I don't think I have. I think I've
What?
had.
This is so unfair. You got to go swimming at school and you've never had to deal with sleep paralysis.
Well, you
what
said you
charmed
have to take
lives.
Benadryl, right? So you seeing the Hat Man? Is that what's causing it?
No. So I've had sleep paralysis before.
And explain sleep paralysis, because maybe I have and I just know.
So sleep paralysis, there's different levels to it, but it's basically when your mind wakes up, but your body is still asleep. So you're fully conscious, but you can't move. You're paralyzed.
I've had dreams where it's felt like that.
Okay. So and there's another layer to sleep paralysis too, where you can actually have hallucinations on it. And it's not just a lucid dream. It's a full-blown hallucination in the real world, and I've had several of those.
I've had those, but it's always the same one, and it's I'm pregnant, and I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? And I'm pissed.
Okay.
I'm pissed, and I can't wake up, and I'm just looking at I'm awake, but my body's not awake.
Yeah.
And my body has changed in the state that I'm in, and I can't It feels like I've woken up, but I haven't, and what I've woken up to is a body that is not my own.
I'm afraid to say mine now. No, I had one. It was really crazy. So I woke up. I thought I was awake, but I couldn't move. But I was in my apartment. I could see my whole room. And then a man came in, and he was just wearing tidy whities and no shirt, and he was holding a pillow. And I remember thinking, I was like, oh, I bet he's already killed my roommate. He's breaking in. And then he comes and jumps on top of me and smothers me with a pillow. And I die. I remember I was like, oh, okay, he's killing me. He's going to get my roommate too, or already got her. And then I actually woke up a couple hours later and could move. But
that's terrifying. I'm sweating.
But I was not with child, so at least
that's scarier.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazier. That's way scarier. I'm sweating.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
when I Googled it, because I was like, is this normal? Because at first I was like,
is this normal?
Is there a bigger issue here? But no, you can have hallucinations with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
wild.
crazy. Did you Google, like, what does this mean?
No, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that, like, it's not good.
Yeah, minimal dream interpretation
Like,
on that
it's
one.
But I did have one once where it was like a bunch of like little like stuffed animals that had come to life and were like crawling up and trying to like hug me,
Oh, that's
Oh,
sweet.
that's
which was
nice.
like a little, it was
Nicer?
creepy, but
Yeah.
it was, I
Milder.
was like, you guys can come back, but
Yeah.
the tiny whitey's guy should stay.
Thank you guys for submitting advice questions. Keep them coming. tinyurl.com/night school advice. This was a funny one. I'm currently dating 4 men, and I don't really want to end it with any of them. They're all special in their own way. What should I do? I can't decide.
Invite them all over at once under the guise of a book club. Say, like, invite, like, pretend you're gonna have a book club. Assign them a book. Assign each of them different books. Be like, this is really important to me. If we want to, like, continue this relationship, I really want you to, like, meet my book club friends. And then one reads Charlotte's Web, one reads The Giver. Just mix it up and then have them all come over. And they're going to bother and be like, this is so silly that she had us do this. And they're going to have a common bond. And
They
then
read different books?
Yeah.
Or you invite them all over and you're wearing a dress and you have a bunch of roses and you're like, I only have 3 roses in my hand. Or I kind of set that up like America's Next Top Model. I only have 3 photos in my
Yeah,
hand.
in my hand. Yeah, that honestly, that would be
That's
funnier.
better,
Yeah,
yeah.
you print out photos from their Instagram and you like
Yeah.
you're just waiting and you're like,
But
have
you
them all
either,
sitting.
yeah, bachelor setup. Or, I mean, I want to eat 6 In-N-Out double protein style with fries every single day. I can't do that. It's not good for me. Sometimes in life we have to make tough decisions. Despite what we want, we can't always get what we want, as the Stones once said. So, sounds like you got to make a choice.
They're all special in their own way. What should I do? I can't decide. I mean, I think they're not all special. You know they're not
Think
all
about
special.
this is where you really have to do some list making,
Yeah.
some Venn diagrams.
Yeah, because they're
narrow
not all
it
special.
down. No.
That is just
And
it.
put it in the context of like future stuff, because I guarantee you at least one of them is fun and you're enjoying him in the moment, but isn't necessarily like, husband material.
Yeah.
So narrow it down on the basis of like not just thinking about your current needs, but your future needs, and that will probably help.
I agree. And I think like also if you're not looking for anything serious, that's one thing. Like go ahead and date around, but like you also don't really want to be sexually active with like many people. That's just my 2 cents. I probably shouldn't kink shame, whatever. Do your thing, queen, slay, all that good shit. But do they all deserve your time? Do they all deserve access to you? Probably not. So
I wish we knew how long she's been seeing them.
more advice. We need more context. We need way more context. But
I think too a good rule of thumb, like I feel like a lot of times for dating, like we think about like who we want to be around, or like do I want this person? Think about like who like you couldn't live without.
Yeah.
If that like who you would miss the most.
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah. Like who brings the most joy, and who do you have the most like intellectual connection with too? Like who, if they were to leave your life tomorrow, out of these 4 people, like who would you feel the most absence?
Or whoever has the most money.
That's also a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. You think about your future self, like Alana said. My best friend wants to be an artist, but his art is honestly offensive and really poorly made. I see him go through constant heartbreak due to the constant rejection he faces in the art world, and don't see this working out for him, but I know it's his dream. As a caring friend, do you think I should say something, or should I continue to watch him suffer? Oh, it's his dream. As a caring friend, do you think I should say something or just continue to watch him suffer?
I think this is another situation where you can try to encourage someone in the right direction. You don't necessarily have to tell them what's wrong, but you can encourage them in the direction of what's right. There's got to be some aspect of his art making process. It's a guy, right? I said he?
Yes.
His art. Got to be some aspect of his process that you admire or that has some value, even if it's like his tenacity. You can guide someone in the right direction. Sometimes a little bit of untruth, so if he's very tenacious and keeps making tons of work saying like, you know, I think it's amazing how much work you make and your willingness to continue to evolve your style. I think what's really, and also the other thing too, I mean, this is a little bit subversive, maybe a little bit manipulative, but you can kind of like implant ideas around a person
Yes.
by talking around them about something. Like if they have a particular style of art, saying, without it being too obvious that you're speaking about them, you can say, you know, yeah, you know, there's that type of art that a lot of people make. I find it a little contrived, and I really like when people do this kind of thing. I don't know.
I
Kind
wanna
of
know-
guide someone in a different direction.
This is another one where I wish there was more content. His art is offensive. I wonder if they're saying that just like as like kind of like to be fun, like it's offensively bad, or if it's like, oh, he includes a lot of hate symbols, like it's kind of his trademark. Like how offensive?
I take it as like grotesque. Like overly sexual.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the tone that I got from this, was like,
that makes more sense.
yeah. That's kind of the, and I think to
If
Alana's
it's
point,
offensive in that way, though, I think you can say like, hey, you know, maybe you should start working on a body of work that would be a little bit more palatable. I love what you're doing with all this kind of controversial stuff, but
Yeah.
maybe just so you can get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Maybe create some other thing that, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I also think, too, it's like, to our Kenny Scharf episode that we've talked about, like, what might not speak to you might speak to somebody else. And I think guiding him in the right direction of, like, not necessarily squashing his dreams, but being like, I really like it when I really like this part of your work. Like, this part really speaks to me, and I'm seeing other people connect with this piece of it, this facet of it.
Yeah, maybe you need to put more work into this aspect of things.
Yes.
That could be helpful.
Yeah. And then also, too, it's like, it's not your life. Like, if he wants to make dumb art forever, like, let him. It's making him happy. Like, there's nothing scarier than, like, a mentally ill, stifled artist who's just, like, not pursuing their art, but just, like, hates life and is, like, going inward. Like, that's also kind of a red flag. Like, that's a red flag human that needs to be, like, put on a watch list. So, like, if this art is helping him not become a criminal, maybe we just let things happen, right? Not your monkeys, not your circus.
They could also start making their own art that's very derivative of his art, so that then maybe
Indirect approach. Here we go.
Indirect,
so that
yeah.
then maybe he's like, oh well, now I got to do something different because they're
Inspired.
copying me, or it'll
Yeah.
just cause tension in your friendship and
And then you
won't
can
help
just
the
end it.
situation at all. And then that's a different problem that you can focus on now.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lateral move, but it is a
It's
different
changing
situation.
something. Yeah, it's changing something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can point him in the right direction. You could also start making derivative art that is like, taking the very base of his and just making it worse. And that might cause some self-reflection and self-hatred, which could inadvertently create the change you're looking to make. But I think that's a lot of work. That's also a lot of investment. That's more than 6 trips to Michael's. So I would recommend
Not if you make a list. If you go in with the list and a plan, that's it. When you get lost is when you just go in with an open heart
off a Benadryl
Yeah.
and a Xanax.
and just. It's like going to the grocery store hungry. Like when you go in,
or high, yeah.
when you go into Michael's with just like an imagination and no
True.
structure, it's
True.
gonna be your life for a while.
Yeah. But I think instead of making the investment in making derivative art that probably will offend you as well, just guide him in the right direction pleasantly, and then look, if he continues to make shitty art, let him. Like, who cares? Like, live your life, support him as much as you can, and, just be like, love that butthole painting you made. Nice work, buddy. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ainsley, for joining.
That went by so fast.
I know, that flew fucking by. We will definitely have you back. This was so fun. Thank you guys for joining. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends about the podcast. That's the number one way podcasts get spread around. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, Night School Pod. Like us on Instagram, Night School Pod. And submit your advice questions, tinyurl.com/nightsschooladvice. We will answer your questions on the show. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.